All right, gentlemen, this is for the IBF and the WBA junior welterweight title. You've received your instructions in the dressing room. Again, I want to caution you. Any punch below this point will be called low. Any punch below this point will be called low. With that said, I want you to obey my commands, protect yourselves at all times. Touch them up now, let's go to it.
All right, so we're all set. Remember, 10-point must-scoring system, no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule, and a fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. Only the ref can stop the fight, and if we get into any accidental fouls or anything of that nature, we'll explain to you as it becomes pertinent. Davey boy, I am psyched. This should be a terrific fight.
It really is excitement. The juices flowing, the electricity in the house, a unification bout at 140, and you're back, so we're thrilled.
All right, here we go. The bell is sounded. The southpaw, Zab Judah, he sometimes starts a little bit slow when he feels guys out. Khan is not starting slow. He's going right away with that jab. Followed up by the right hand. Zab outside the punching area. Hasn't done anything offensively just yet.
We'll look for Khan to try to throw that lead right hand, double left hook, keep his lead foot outside the lead foot of Judah. And what we talked about earlier, we have to watch and hope that you don't get that clash of heads with the righty and lefty, both seeking the offensive territory at the same time.
Well, in the first 30 seconds of the fight, it's Khan that's dictating the pace. The Zab short with his jab. He's looking, of course, to unleash the left hand down the middle. That's his power shot. And in the Corey Spinks fights, he didn't show a lot of power with his jab in those fights. I don't know whether it's just the boxing or Corey's very slick. This guy's willing to take a shot, though. And Zab hasn't thrown a left hand yet. Khan forcing the fight.
Well, Khan has big edge and quickness in 24 versus 33. So that's something that he wants to use. And he needs to make Zab Judah use his legs and make this a fast-paced fight.
Well, we saw Khan push Judah down, and then we see Judah lift Khan up. So they're even there anyhow, halfway through this first round. My way of thinking, Khan has won the first minute and 30 seconds of this fight. Zab has got to open up. This is exactly the way he opened up in both Spinks fight. That time he takes a right hand, bounces off his nose. And if you wanted to take Amir Khan to school, he's not doing it just yet. Amir Khan in the green trunks with white and gold trim. And boy, Dave, the hand speed really shows here, doesn't it?
What we were talking about with Khan, it's a big difference maker for him against Judah. And instead of Judah being able to play tricks on Khan, if he's reacting to these punches and not being comfortable, then he has to reset himself, and then Khan can get right back on him.
Well, he knows what speed is because he fought Floyd Mayweather Jr., who has tremendous hand speed. Wow. Zab got that left hand in there. The heads came together already. Zab complaining, I hope he's not cut. Waiting, letting Khan come in on him. Can't allow that to happen. He's got to at least use the jab. Feinted with a light jab first and then actually drove off the back leg and landed it, but that doesn't even affect Khan. But he get that right hand up because Khan can land the left, and he did twice. Second one very light. All right, the bell ends the first round. Khan dictated the pace. Khan wins the round on my score sheet. And that's going to happen more. Nothing intentional about that. It just happens when you have two aggressive fighters and one's a southpaw and the other guy in Khan is a right-handed fighter who's taller. It promotes problems, especially that 3-inch area when the heads come in. They want to clash and it's going to land on the eyes of Zab Judah. But Khan is dictating the fight. You see Zab using that little Pernell Whitaker bending over way down and zipping around. Great move, but you got to do more offensively. Powering with the jab is Zab.
Sometimes when Pernell Whitaker bent down also, he went down a little too low and he was knocked down in a couple of his fights. Khan had a 10-2 connection advantage in the first round. Very low numbers for these guys, showing that the adrenaline and the intrigue of this first round outweighed the offense.
In 45 years of calling prize fights, I never saw anybody get as low as Pernell did when he would go down. Zab does it a little bit, and he's modeled himself after Pernell. but he doesn't execute all the things that Pernell could do. He's in the Hall of Fame. Khan just putting pressure on him here and outboxing Zab. One pretty good jab gets through there with some power.
And even if Judah can't do the entire dip that Whitaker would advocate, Whitaker said keep the chin tucked, keep the chin down. That might be the most important aspect of the whole thing for him.
Zab seems to want to pick it up a bit, but again, it's Khan trying to get off first, and he does. Bad idea to hang that right hand down with the jab that Khan has, as he'll take that vision away and then drop the right hand right on top of it.
He's got a jab like a machine.
Oh, yeah.
And he operates well in hostile territory. Against Paulie Malignaggi in New York, Malignaggi's hometown, he just did a clinic on him from the outside and dominated him. And here, with a lot of people screaming for Judah, he still seems relaxed.
People are screaming for Zab, who a lot of New Yorkers here, his old fans, and now that he's living in Las Vegas. But sizable amount of Brits follow their teams and their fighters, especially here too. Zab falling short with his jab. He's got to get a piece of him with that. He's got to touch him up. But he's very cautious working from the outside.
Well, he's got to gamble, and one reason he doesn't want to gamble is that right hand he just got nailed with by Khan. There's a price for his gambling.
Right? Box.
Zab in the old days would have been whining. This time he bows at the referee as a courtesy that he did something wrong. But Khan blasted him with the right hand. Zab has the time up. It's all he can do. Hands of, well, they were free, so they try to get each other on the inside. Zab likes to be in there, but this guy Khan is so quick. Zab is tying off when he comes in, and they go left hands.
And also to start with that and then get down low so we can go to the body. So Pernell Whitaker did give very good instructions, but it's all Khan so far. Yet in the low numbers, 14-4 for Khan in the second round. And we would expect these guys to be landing more punches than this, and they will as we go forward.
Yeah, well, you know, what people expect is for Zab, rather, as they look at it, for Zab to wear out in this fight, but he's in terrific physical condition. As long as he doesn't get hit in the chin, he's certainly in fantastic shape. Oh! Zab Judah unleashed the left hand. That's what Pernell wanted to do. He caught a meal with that. It would have been some fight-changing left hand, and that's what he needs to throw more. With malice aforethought, the Khan is taken away from him. Zab missed his punch. Amir right on top of him and making him pay.
Khan lands hard shots all the time. A good right hand, good straight hard right hand behind the jab. So you get a little bit of an advantage against him, and he comes back with ferocity, tries to drive you back off the point.
Zab, when he's on the inside, he tries to throw body punches, but you're really not in position to really hurt a guy. That's not doing anything. In fact, he hit his own glove. Halfway through the third round, Amir Khan outboxing him again. Zab has had a couple of moments, but these left hands are getting through. Zab Judah to the right of his screen in the second goal. Khan, the guy that just hit him. Little puffiness in that right eye of Zab Judah where their heads came together in the first round.
Again, look at that jab by Khan. It's a masterful execution by him.
Let's go.
Stiff, on the mark, and more than one.
Well, for kind of hitting him from a blindside shot when he was in a headlock, Khan makes it pay immediately with a left hook to the right side of the head of Zab, and here he is on top of him again. He knows he can muscle him now. On whistle past the nose of Zab. Zab comes back and unleashed that left hand again. That one was closer, but it still didn't connect with the chin. Some nice footwork by Zab, but you don't win rounds by bouncing away like that. The difference with, Floyd Mayweather makes moves like that is that he comes back and hits guys. So Zab did try to land more left hands, but both of them were wild. One sailed way over the head and one didn't quite catch him. And look at Khan. And as you But Khan clips him with a solid right hand on the chin. Is it the age difference, Dave, or is it just the speed difference in Khan's hand?
Khan has had a major speed advantage in a lot of his fights. Stays outside, gets the jab, steps in with the right hand well. And yeah, these guys are moving so much, they're not connecting. Khan 13 for 57 in the last round, 23%. Judah 4 for 23. So a lot of movement, some anemic punch totals, but what is being landed is in the advantage of Khan. And his speed was the biggest advantage we talked about coming into this fight. Got too much of it for Judah.
Well, Judah's got to hope that he can plant that left hand. That time he picked everything off. But Khan gets the attention of the judges. Finally, Vic Draculich has to separate the two fighters. So Zab, offensively, it just hasn't been there, Davey. Khan reaches in with a jab. And again, their reach is exactly the same, but Khan, with the height difference, he looks like he has more reach. And the difference is that when he comes in with that left, he turns that left shoulder in, and he takes advantage of Zab, who bends over at the waist like Pernell Whitaker, but didn't come with the uppercut that Pernell's asking for.
In the last two fights, Judah was able to use some veteran guile to overcome his opponents. Matisse was a straight-ahead banger that he could move side to side with and try to slide off and shuffle off, and he did escape with that decision, and then he used his experience in the next fight. But this is a guy with infinitely more speed who takes away some of those tactics for Judah.
Remember, there were a lot of ringside observers that thought Matisse won that fight, too. So,
yes.
You know, we just throw that out for you to evaluate, you folks at home.
That's one of those 50-50 fights. Half the time you won't get that call, but he did get it that night.
Some nights you get the bear, and some nights the bear gets you. Khan is the bear right now, and he's getting Zab more than Zab is getting in. Now, see, Zab goes down like Pernell, but he doesn't come up with the uppercut. So Khan makes him pay upstairs. Nice combination of punches, both sides of that of Zab Judah.
Come on now.
And the point from before, when you get down and dip real low like Whitaker did, you know, Whitaker got knocked down in some of those fights when he went real low. Judah went real low here, and he got rocked.
Yeah, that happens to you, and I mean, basically all the guy's got to do is touch you because you're still on your feet. It's not like you're down, but you don't have any balance when you're in that position. But Sweet Pea had faster hands than Zab has.
That's why Zab shouldn't try that move.
And a boxing round stats come in around the 5th, 6th, 7th round. And there's Amir Khan showing no fatigue whatsoever as he tees up on Zab right away here in the 5th. Zab has got to find some way with getting angles, but he's coming straight in. Khan is the guy, bounces left, now bounces right, bounces back, and Zab trying to walk him down, reaching way out with a jab instead of driving up that back foot and touching him with it. So Khan walks right through it anytime he wants. Flipped him with the right hand, light left hand, and then spun him with a good left hand.
Here's one of the special things about Khan. We saw in that three-punch combination. First punch landing in grazing fashion, second punch missing, the third punch landing as he followed through all the way with the combination and made sure that he scored twice.
Heads came together again this time. Zab complains about the left eye. Vic Draculich doesn't see any. Oh, there's blood's coming from the nose, not the head, Zab. Caught Khan inside with a decent left hand. That's his power shot, but it doesn't affect Khan whatsoever. He's able to gobble it up. That time, Zab came with a sneaky right hand, but all his best shots that he's throwing are missing. Khan, it sometimes looks a little bit awkward the way he throws punches, but he hits.
And that awkwardness is frustrating Judah a little bit. And what he does is he throws these three-punch combinations where he squares up and runs through his opponents.
See, you hear the crowd react now because Khan landed some clean punches in there. Zab up in his toe, tries to bounce away, but you can't win a fight like this. It looks good, but Khan's landing the punches. Zab hit him in the chin that time. Blood coming from his nose. And just light right hands of Zab Judah do no damage whatsoever. There's a solid right hand by Amir Khan. Another right hand. And kind of caught a piece of the chin and grazed over the shoulder. but the first one was very solid.
I love how he's keying off Judah's shots. Judah throws 2 jabs that die in the gloves. And then Khan comes right back and lands 3 shots behind it. He has that split-second timing of when to jump on Judah after Judah misses.
So far, conditioning is okay for both guys, in spite of the fact that Judah is taking more punishment. That time he get hit, and I think he's going to score it as a knockdown. It's up to 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. Is he going to get up? 7, 8. It doesn't look like he's going to get. He counts him out. Zab claiming it was a low blow, but he gets counted out. Remember the rule is, if there's a low blow, you may be counted out. This is scored as a knockout in the 5th round. Was Zab looking for a way to get out of there, Dave? It sure looked like it.
That's the first shot that it did look like, and even if you're going to try to lobby with the referee, you have to get up first.
And the end comes at 2 minutes 47 seconds of round number 5. The winner and now the unified WBA and IBF 140-pound champion of the world from Bolton, Lancashire, England, Amir